Thank you very much, AIESEC in Norway. Hello, everyone. How are you? I hope that everyone is doing great today. And really appreciate the invitation to be part of this space. So yes, my name is Omar Diaz Aldaña, and today we're going to be talking about the ultimate hacks for a successful virtual event and how to make remarkable virtual events for your audience. So yes, I have some expectations for today's space. First of all, I will tell you a little bit about the story of SoftSkills Media, the company that we're working on right now. Here's my slide. We're also going to talk about identifying the problem of virtual events nowadays. Then we're going to go into the topic. We're going to give you some interesting hacks to produce successful virtual events. And last but not least, I'm going to give you a bonus tip at the very end of the space. This interesting methodology that we are adopting here at the SoftSkills Media, which is actually very good. It's called brand affinity marketing, but that's a surprise at the end. So it's kind of my way to ask you to stay with me until the very end. All right. So buckle up. Let's go on a ride together. But first, I'm gonna show you something really cool. I'm gonna show you a bit about how are we actually producing this live stream. You might think it's just a Zoom call, but it's actually not. All right. Hello. Can you hear me? Say yes. Say yes.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So hello again. We're back, and as you can see, we have prepared some interesting setup for you. Of course, I cannot talk about successful virtual events. I cannot practice what I don't preach, right? So yeah, so this is a way for me to kind of make the event more engaging for you. So really appreciate your patience into like making us this transition happen. But also I want to show you around the studio that we're in. And I will tell you a bit more of the story of the studio that we are in. But of course, all this setup could not be possible without my business partner. His name is Jorge, and of course I'm not alone. So I just want him to say hello to all of you. We are here at the studio, hello. And also we have a backstage view. So if you can help me, Jorge, hello. Just kind of to show things around right here at the studio, how we are powering this up. All for you, people of AIESEC in Norway, really excited for this space. So yeah, I just want to tell you a bit about myself right now. So my name is, as I was already introduced. By the way, this is the very first time that we're doing something like this on Zoom. We haven't done this before, so please bear with us if something wrong happens. We are trying to make things as engaging as possible, right? Okay, so let's move forward. I just have some interesting facts about me. So what you have to know about me is first, okay, my name is Omar Diaz Saldaña. So happy to be here with you. I was part of AIESEC for quite some time, about 8 years, from 2011. My home entity, I joined AIESEC in Mexico back in 2011. But I also went to Norway to be part of the national team or the member committee team of AIESEC in Norway in the term 17-18. Also happened to be next year, after my amazing experience in Norway, I went to Canada, again as a member of the member of marketing, no, the member committee vice president of marketing in AIESEC in Canada. After these two great experiences doing marketing, I started joining the production teams of AIESEC International in specific events such as International Congress 2018 and the last International Congress that was virtual 2020, IC 2020. I also happened to be last year in Russia in the International Presidents Meeting, also part of the video production team of the event. And a couple of months later, I also went to EuroExpo, this regional conference of AIESEC in Europe, in Turkey, in Antalya, in March 2020. I don't know how, oh yeah, this is a picture. I wanted to show you this picture of me and my team of AIESEC in Norway, the member committee team of AIESEC in Norway. This is a photo that we took on our first day at the office, no? So pretty much how Emina and Pascal and Osama and Sverre, they're part of the member committee of AIESEC in Norway this term. We also had this first day. And I remember we were very excited, but also we were super busy in the very first day. So yeah. And this is also a picture of how things were like back in 2017, 2018 term. This is a picture of AIESEC in Norway as a whole. The members of AIESEC in Norway, we were in a conference in 2018, January. And yeah, this has been a quite interesting experience. I think this was actually one of the last events that had this amount of people in a specific venue. But I have a surprise for you because you are part of this space and you decided to attend. I want to show you, again, as an attempt to make this event as engaging as possible, I want to show you how things looked like back in the day in 2018. I want to show you the after movie of this event, so that you can see how things were like back in the day, right? So let's roll it.
your commitment in the air. In 3, 2, 1, go! Woo! Thank you very much, AIESEC in Norway. I was nice, great ideas.
Wow, what amazing what amazing memories that we had back in the day in AIESEC in Norway. By the way, can you help me letting 2 people in there in the room, in the waiting room? Can you please help me with that? So yeah, that's the video that we produced like a couple of weeks later after this event happened. So I don't know for how long you've been part of AIESEC, but everything you have heard of AIESEC conferences or AIESEC events overall, things as the roll calls, the atmosphere, a dream venue for an entire weekend, the friendship that you make, all the workshops, and even the parties. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but all of that is true. Everything is true. So my wish to all of you is that you get to experience this at least one time in your AIESEC journey. All right. Hopefully that will happen very, very, very soon after this pandemic is gone. All right. More interesting facts about me. So I'm proud Mexican. I was born and raised in Mexico, very, very proud of my country. And I think the fact that I'm being able to travel to more than 35 countries and territories around the world, most of them because of AIESEC, has actually made me become more proud of my origin and the place I belong to. After I left my AIESEC journey in 2019, I decided to embrace my career as a video storyteller, which eventually, and I will tell you a bit more of a story about that, eventually led me to become a media, broadcasting, and virtual event producer at the company I founded in 2019, which is Showcaser Media. Okay, so enough of me saying hello to the camera in a loop video. A short thing about Showcaser Media. Back in 2019, as I was telling you, we had this crazy idea, me and Jorge, we had this crazy idea of of transforming the stories of events around the world into powerful and memorable pieces of content. No, so we had this crazy goal in 2019, and as entrepreneurs, we have been very, very excited. This happened actually last year in September. We were excited for this first milestone. No? As an entrepreneur, having your own company, doing what you love, reaching that first year of operations. And in 2020, of course, where we had a lot of complications, that was like our very first big milestone. But it hasn't been as easy as it sounds, because as I told you, we had this crazy goal, this crazy dream of going around the world, producing stories for events, getting to know people from all around the world. And our journey started actually very cool. It started in Norway in January. We went to the events in Norway, events in Russia, events in Finland, in Estonia, in Latvia, Lithuania, in the UK, and also in Turkey. We had this great tour of events coming in the first 3 months. But as we were covering our event in Turkey, actually the regional conference of AIESEC in Europe in Turkey in March, the event got canceled in the middle of the event because Turkey was becoming the epicenter of the pandemic in Europe. So everyone had to go back home. It was chaos. But all of a sudden, all of the events we had in our schedule, events in Ukraine, in Greece, in Germany, in Sweden, Poland, the Netherlands, and India, in later 2020, all of these events got canceled all of a sudden. So then I found myself stuck in Turkey without even the possibility of going back home because the borders were closed. All of the events were canceled at the time. There was a huge economic crisis coming in the future. I mean, we're still part of that economic crisis. There was a big feeling of uncertainty. No one knew what was happening in those months, in March, April. No one knew what was happening. There was a lot of frustration because also we were stuck in a country that we just couldn't speak the language. It was very difficult for us. And of course, the fear, no, the fear of getting sick in a country that, yeah, no one speaks the same language, and it was going to be very complicated to go back home at the time. So not easy times for an entrepreneur with this crazy dream of going to events around the world and doing his or our own thing. But I think as an entrepreneur, you either adapt or die. No, so I was very lucky to share this experience of being 2 months stuck in Turkey with 2 friends of mine. So what we were doing was we were just trying to identify areas of opportunity. We booked an Airbnb for a couple of months, and we made that our work base. We started working, we started identifying areas of opportunity, we started identifying strengths and weaknesses of the things we were delivering, of the value we could provide to our audience or to the people out there. And then we started reaching out to the people that were admiring our work, our loyal fans, I call them. We started reaching out through Zoom calls to like, hey, how can we help you? How can we be of help to you? So we had a lot of calls with great people, most of them AIESECers. They were very interested in learning about photography, about videography, about storytelling, how to put all these things together. And then we made the choice of, okay, let's try and test, right? Let's maybe do some webinars about photography, because maybe people could sign up, people could pay, for those, because those are the things we could be good at. And that's how we actually reinvented and adapted in those 2 months of being stuck in Turkey, right? So we launched a couple of webinars to the public, having a lot of feedback from them, what things could be good, what things could be improved, what things could be taken away from our webinars. So those were 2 very important months, because we could, as I told you, we could just decide to cry and hope that things could go well, or do something about it, right? Try to make the best out of this experience. So that's my story of reinvention and adaptation. However, it didn't stop there. When we finally found the opportunity to come back home in Mexico, then we made this official. We launched more trainings and more webinars about videography, photography, and we also saw an opportunity in producing virtual events, because, okay, maybe events were not canceled at all. Maybe it was just how do companies, businesses, and organizations transition from in-person events to the virtual setup, a virtual environment. So we were very lucky to land in our first big project that was from AIESEC Global. They were thinking to produce a 24 hours straight virtual event around the world. So they were finding someone that could do it. So we saw it as an opportunity to do it for the very first time. So what you see in this picture is us trying to build a studio that could allow this event to happen. So in the end, we produced a 24-hour, like imagine 24 hours straight producing a virtual event from that little spot in my brother's apartment. So of course, the event turned out really well. And we were very, very happy, but also we identified it as another service we could help other businesses, broadcasting events around the world. But also something that we started doing was remote directing. So we had some clients that were interested in our services, not just in Mexico, but also in around the world. So this is a video that I'm just showing you as how I was trying to direct a video from my home in Mexico to countries businesses in the UK and other countries around the world. So that's us pretty much adapting to the need to this new virtual era. If you think the story ends there, then you're wrong, because we took it to the next level. We also made the impactful decision to build our own studio, right? We knew that this pandemic was not going to end in the near future, so we were really in need of building our own place. We could work and we could feel comfortable, and also we could have everything in place so that we could produce not just videos but also events. So here is a picture of how the studio looks like nowadays. And later in the month of July, we were so excited because we were now producing our first in-studio event. With AIESEC in Mexico, we produced their first national conference of the term. So that's us. We were very happy. As you can see, there's a lot of cables there. We needed to do something about the cable management. But again, it's about reinventing and adapting. And I just want to show you a video of how the event looks like for AIESEC in Mexico. Very short video. So that's the story of Showcaser Media. Oh, forgot to click. Yeah, that's the story of Showcaser Media. That's the story of how Jorge and we have been building this project together, and we are very excited. It hasn't been an easy journey, but as I was showing you at the beginning, this cake with this candle really meant a lot for us because we went through a lot. And being able to produce an event like this, as you are seeing, it's something we have been working for a huge amount of hours in the course of the last 10 months. If you are a bit curious about the story of Showcaser Media, we actually produced a documentary that tells the story of Showcaser Media. So it's a 10-chapter mini documentary. If you want to take a look at it, we created it for, it's available on YouTube, on our channel in Showcaser Media. Just type Showcaser Media, and you can find this great documentary where we tell the story in a more better way. All right, so I wanted to tell you a story of Showcaser Media because if we're going to be talking about the ultimate hacks for successful virtual events, it's because if in the last 10 months we have been producing so many events for like many organizations, and we have learned many things that we are very happy to share with you. And we just wanted to give you some context of how we ended up becoming like from video producers to virtual event producers, and we believe that this is something that could be very useful for you. Maybe you're going to be working on a company that is very into events, or maybe you are an entrepreneur and you think that events could be something very good to attract your audience. These hacks could be very beneficial for you. I really believe that. Woo! Okay, just gonna take a sip of coffee. Sorry. All right, so the second point that I want to talk about is I want to help you identify the problem of virtual events nowadays. So I think it's very obvious. No, in the last year, we have been jumping from different virtual events. No, you can call it a virtual event, a virtual conference, a webinar, a virtual call, like so many Zoom calls all around us, or maybe your virtual classrooms now that we are still on a lockdown. It's been crazy. I mean, probably in the beginning, it was very exciting, no? Because we were new to this platform called Zoom, and it was very trendy, right? However, wow, it's been exponential growth in virtual events, webinars, live shows all around the world. They are all over the place. And this is pretty obvious because brands, companies, organizations, they are trying to find ways to keep getting in touch with their customers, with their clients, no? So of course, there's this need from transition. If I'm gonna lose this physical touch point with my audience, then I have to transition into the virtual world. So virtual gatherings have become the norm. And the truth is, even when the pandemic is gone, hopefully it will happen very soon, virtual gatherings are here to stay, because it's proven that it's more cost effective, it's better to, it's more efficient to organize and to like, yeah. So this is gonna be an interesting change in upcoming years. How can we merge, it's called the hybrid event. How can we merge physical touch points with virtual touch points? So I'm pretty sure this photo is something that each one of us is going to identify with, because I'm pretty sure you have been feeling like this. There's even a concept called the Zoom fatigue. It's also becoming very trendy in the last months. And the Zoom fatigue, it describes the tiredness, the worry, or burnout associated with overusing virtual platforms of communication. Probably this is describing all of us. It was very nice in the beginning, but now it's very exhausting, right? And there has been a lot of studies about this, and there's been 4 consequences or 4 conclusions about why this is happening. The first one is, sorry about that again, having excessive amounts of close-up eye contact is highly intensive, right? So just standing in front, or like sitting down in front of your computer for like a huge amount of time, it's very exhausting in the long run. The second point is seeing yourself during video chats constantly in real time is fatiguing. Okay, so that's why Zoom created this option where you can actually hide your view, no, so you cannot see more of you, because it's exhausting. Again, in the long run, you probably don't notice it in just a 30-minute call, but if you aggregate all those calls, then yes, it's fatiguing. The third point is about video chats dramatically reduce our social mobility. So contrary to in-person events where you get to go to the cafeteria, you go to different rooms, you actually are moving. Now you are stick to your chair or your bed, and you are just staying there for a huge amount of time. That also explains the Zoom fatigue. And the last one is the cognitive load is much higher in video chats. You don't know this, but probably your brain in Zoom calls, or like in any other scenario, other platform where you have to pay attention to what you are doing in front of the camera. So that attention is something that you normally don't do on a physical touch point. No, you're just walking and you just don't care about what people think about you. But now your brain has to constantly work about how people are going to perceive you. So because again, I cannot practice what I don't preach, I want to make a quick experiment right here. So I want us to take a break from this virtual event. So I want to have a 3-minute break. I'm just going to be playing some music in the background. And I want you to, all of you, just get up of your chairs, get up of your beds. I cannot see you, by the way, and it's okay. But I really hope that you're going to do it. Just take some fresh air, stretch, take a walk in the place you are in, get a glass of water, get a snack if you want, and I'll be seeing you in 3 minutes, all right? But promise that you're going to do this, of course. I'll see you back in 2 minutes. All right, we are back. So I really hope that you did this exercise of just getting out of the screen and just getting a very small break, which are very useful for virtual events, of course. Let's keep moving on. So in the preparation of this webinar, this workshop, I found this tweet, very interesting tweet or interesting thread. It's actually a thread. I'm putting there the source. So Steph Smith is a writer, and also there's a date. Sorry, there's a date right there, March the 10th. If you are curious to just find more about the thread, what it says. But this Steph, she's a writer. She writes a lot of newsletters about technology. She was asking this to her big audience. No, she has a very big audience, and she was asking about like this, like about virtual events. Like, hey, have you in the last year? So making reference to the pandemic or era, let's say, have you been to a virtual event that you loved, as in 10 out of 10, I would attend again? If so, what did they do differently? No, and if not, what is the key they are missing? So it's very funny to, not funny, but very interesting to read the comments about what virtual events are doing right and what virtual events are doing wrong. And as you can see in the results, there's a lot of people that say no, that there hasn't been a virtual event that has been as successful as the previous ones. What she believes is happening is that the first big mistake that or event organizers are doing is that they want to copy paste what an offline event or like an in-person event what happens, and they want to just copy and paste into an online event. So instead of like rethinking the idea of virtual events, that's the first theory. And the second one is that because everyone is turning into digital and there is no barrier to entry, so everyone can actually open a Zoom call, everyone can create an event nowadays. So that means that the more quantity of virtual events, that means that the lower quality they will provide. And Steph also gives some mention and makes some interesting presentation about this. Why is it that people are showing up to in-person events? What are the things that they are looking for? Just like, for example, a college degree, she mentions. So people show up to in-person events because they want to find, they want to build a community, a network. They want to meet people, meet new people. They go to events because they want to learn something new or like get something done. So this goes to the utility part. Status, maybe it's a very big event that only few people can go or can afford. So they want to get new status. And then experience, of course, it's a new experience that they are putting themselves into. The problem with virtual events or online events is that, as you can see, the ones in red are not events, things that are actually happening. No, so there is no enough community happening. There is like not enough chance to meet people from many places. The experience is sometimes not so good, or maybe barely good. Status, well, maybe if it's a very specific event that everyone can attend, well, of course you're getting some status, but not in general. And the only thing that you're actually learning, maybe this is an example, you're learning something new out of this virtual event. You're learning about something useful in the future, right? And again, the easier it gets for companies to produce virtual events, then of course we're gonna have a huge amount of virtual events happening at all times. That explains why virtual calls have been thriving, the number of virtual events. But this is also something, this is a very interesting graphic because what Steph is mentioning is that only the events that are actually putting the work into producing something unique, something valuable for their audience, are the ones that are actually getting everything, right? All the attention, right? So only those great events that you maybe see that are very well produced are the ones that are actually having people showing up for most of the time. And she also mentioned some examples, no? So examples of these events that are on this part of the curve, these events are entertaining, they are personalized. As you can see in the part of entertaining, they are bringing in a magician for the event. Personalized, you are able to create your own, or your custom person, or like, yeah, virtual attendee. The gamified version is about a platform that allows participants to keep earning points during the event, with the hope that the one that earns the most points will win a prize. No, we have also some other parts where it's interactive. You have people talking to each other, or maybe realistic. No, probably using technology such as virtual reality. People are actually being engaged. Of course, to be able to produce these kind of events takes a lot. So then, just as a too long don't read, if you are going to run online events, you have to start from the principles. So first, you have to decide, or you have to define who you are targeting for your virtual event. The second point is that what is the thing that they value, no? And the third point is how can you deliver that thing that they value in a differentiated way, right? As with content, that the most outstanding content thrives, the top performers when it comes to producing real engaging events are the ones that are going to get it all. Okay, perfect. So that's the problem about virtual events that we identified. Now I want to hear from you. It's been a lot of me talking, but I wanna hear about you, what you think. I would like you to give me an answer on these two questions. The first one is, what is a virtual event that you remember the most in the last year? So I just want you to think about it for a few minutes, and tell me why. What do you remember the most about it? Right. So I'm opening the microphone here, so whoever wants to participate, you're free to join. And also, you want to say your name again? So in the last year, so in the pandemic year, what has been that virtual event besides Broaden Base, which has been amazing, I'm sure. Okay, we have Sahil. Okay, so can we, Sahil, can you say something? Just open your mic. Yeah.
So last year I attended a summit called the Hope Summit, and it was a networking plus career fair type event. So in
Yeah.
that event, it was going for for 1 week, and every day we were having guests from and speakers from industry and corporates, and they were talking about their journeys and how to get through or land the job they were having. There were people from Google and Apple, MBB, and Big Four companies. They were talking about their journeys, and not only they were talking about how to get there, and they were also talking about how the industries will change in the next couple of years, and how this pandemic is going to change uh, like the work pattern, and how we are going to transform the industry, this kind of things. And also they were talking
Okay.
about mental health, and there were various range of topics, and it was a
Okay. But
great event. And yeah,
yeah,
it was called
and
the Hope Summit.
the Hoop Summit. Okay, maybe can you write it
Yes,
down
it
so I
was.
can just look?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
amazing. But how long was this event? For how many days? Or was
It
it just one
was
day?
for 1 week or so, and
One
I
week. Wow,
attended.
that's lots.
Yeah, almost, yeah. And every day the event was happening for 5 or 6 hours, and even though it was for it was happening in the USA time zone. I think in the West
Ah,
Coast time zone, or the San Francisco time zone, and I was awakened throughout midnight and attending this kind of events. So
Interesting.
it was fun.
But again, the topic was very interesting. What about the overall experience of the event? Was it good, like experience that
Yeah,
you
it
wanted?
was great and it was very much helpful, and we will learn a lot like how to like
Hope so.
bypass all these barriers to get into these industries, and what are the skill sets that are required to get into. Like we had many like misconceptions about getting to all these companies, but after attending this event, that
That's
like
nice.
it cleared all my misconceptions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sahil, for that.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Who else we have? Just unmute your microphone and just jump in.
To be honest, this webinar right now, this virtual event, as we call it, is something I think I'm going to remember the most because it's a little bit outstanding than the previous ones. In the past year, I've had a lot of webinars, a lot of, I don't know, meetings through the internet and things like that. And the most outstanding ones for me so far have been the AIESEC ones. That's the only thing that I feel like it's more interactive, more educational and stuff like that. So yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Anna. Thank you very much. Yeah, we we do our homework. Is there anyone else who wants to share about the last virtual event? I saw someone else there in the chat who wants to share.
Hi, I'll go next. So it was the Youth Speak forum that ISEC does. So I was the executive body coordinator for the same for my entity in the 2020. It was in the month of November, and the one thing that I really loved about it was done on a platform called AirMeet, and it was a really
Ah,
interactive platform that we were in tables in a group of 8 having conversations about how this question was, how the space was, what else can be improved, and things like that. It and means the lineup we had was also really good. But yeah, means apart from it, this Broaden Base event, I have been part means I am the part that is making sure that everything is going on and also attending those. It's golden opportunity, and yeah, means these two are the
yeah,
events that I did.
that's good. Yeah, I've heard of this platform, AirMeet. Also, there is one very trending this year with Kashmin Hopin, uh, which are trying to make events more memorable for like, attendees. So thank you very much for your participation. I really appreciate it. Let's move on. All right. Um, so thank you for that. Now, I think we are in the middle of the space. I think we still have some time. So I really hope that you are enjoying this event. Um, so I don't know if you know this person who is on screen. Oh, I'm sweating a lot. There's a lot of light. Sorry. Um, I don't know if you know this person, but his name is Seth Godin. Uh, he has been one of the like my main inspirations in the last 6 or 7 years since I shifted
Sorry to
from.
interrupt. Like he
Yes,
was the sorry to interrupt. He was
sorry,
like he
what's
has
that?
he was a program called Alternative MBA.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's him. So Seth Godin is a marketer. He's one of the most important marketers in recent years. He's a marketing guru, for as how I call it. And I actually met him because of a TED talk back in like I think it was like 10 years or 20 years ago when he delivered it. And he was talking about specifically this book that he wrote. And this book is called Purple Cow: How to Transform Your Business by Making or by Being Remarkable, as it says. He's introducing this concept of being remarkable. And I just want to show you how he puts it in words in a very clear example. All right, so let's just pretend that we are on a highway, we're going on a holiday, and then we are on a road trip, and then we just go take our car, we are just driving. And I'm pretty sure that all of us has been through this specific section of the highway where you just turn your head and there's like a lot of cows. There's huge amount of cows. They're just eating grass and just enjoying life, right? So because we are so familiar to this scenario, we just ignore it nowadays. We just don't care about it. The car keeps going on, the bus or the train, and we just ignore it. But then what happens when all of a sudden we just get to see this, which is a purple cow right there, no? So of course, when you see this purple cow, you will notice it, you will see it, and you will do a remark about it. It's like, wow, that's a purple cow. That's crazy. I haven't seen a purple cow before. So because you haven't seen a purple cow before, you notice it and you say something about it. So it's very interesting how Seth Godin introduces this concept of being remarkable, because he states as something worth making a remark about. And 20 years ago, he was talking about being remarkable in the world of marketing, in the world of doing your product or your service that you were delivering as a company, be remarkable in the eyes of the audience, right? But I really believe that this applies, and I've been using this concept this concept in everything that we do here at Showcase Media. How do we make something remarkable in the eyes of the audience? So what you are seeing right now on screen, it's actually our attempt to make something remarkable, as Anna was just mentioning, right? So we are doing our work, I'm pretty sure. So again, this also applies to virtual events, not just products or services. This also applies to virtual events. So the big question that companies, organizations were asking themselves last year was, how do we make a virtual event remarkable? If we're going to see a huge amount of events coming in, how do we make it possible to be outstanding? And I think one of the things we were doing at Showcase Media was, let's try to find some inspiration. What is it that big brands are doing in this transition from in-person events to virtual events? So this is a very good example. I'm pretty sure all of you witnessed these events that Apple did last year, no? As you know, when Apple launches their products, their technology, their new technologies, they have these in-person events in this big room, and it's very trendy, right? I'm pretty sure you have seen it. But because there was not going to be events like this, they had to invest a lot of work, and I'm sure a lot of money, into making an experience as near as that. So they created these 3 events in the last year, which were, in my eyes, were outstanding, were remarkable. I saw these events like 2 or 3 times per event. Just kind of, I was amazed by the production that they gave to this event. Again, in this attempt to find inspiration in how to make remarkable events, we came across this company called Wistia. Wistia is a video software company based in the US. And they also started hosting live chats, or like fire chats with a lot of guests. But what they did is they actually took Zoom calls and they gave a bit of production. They added some layouts. So for example, the layout that you see on my screen, this layout is pretty much an inspiration of what we saw there. You can see the logo of the event in one side. You can see the logo of Showcase Media. You can see the topic of the conversation in this side. So it gives the audience a bit more of an added value. Okay, so we took this as an inspiration as well. Some other great ideas we took from the webinar day organized by one of also my favorite companies. It's called 23. It's a Danish company, also a video software company, a webinar software company. And they launched the Webinar Day 2020. It was an 8-hour event, continuous event, where they were talking about video marketing, and they were having guests from all around the world. So that was also very exciting for us to see here at the studio. But I think something that also was very remarkable for us was that they had a live DJ. So for every break, they were having a live DJ. And that was something really nice, because we'd never seen something like this. So he was just putting some music, and that was pretty outstanding. So we were actually just asking, hey, who is the DJ? Because he's also very good. So we were also very excited about listening to a DJ for every single break, right? So yeah. Now, this is a very clear example of how things look like, no? So when you have something as produced as what you are seeing right now from us, this is what you see, no? But on the other side, what people see, or what the person giving the keynote sees, is actually what you see on the right of the screen. You see all these computers, you see all these switchers, you see all these screens, you see a teleprompter. So there's a lot of things happening. So just as I was showing you in the beginning, and I just want to give you a quick tour again of the setup that we have, for you to be able to see something like what you're seeing right now, we have all of this in place. I even have Jorge, who is like doing all these transitions between scenes. You see all the screens, you see the light, you see the screen, the camera here at the back. We're putting all this work so that all the content that you see is of great value, right? So yeah, if you want to keep your audience entertained, you have to give them something in return, and you have to do the work. And also, we took this idea from this person called Chris Do. He's also the founder of The Future. It's a platform that allows a lot of people to learn about design, about marketing, about the freelancing world. This is an interesting story because his company back in 2018, 2019, it was getting a lot of traction. A lot of people were interested in all the workshops and all the events that they were doing for people to learn something new. And he decided to rent a whole building in the US, in Los Angeles. So what happened is he had this dream of making this huge building a place where they could host a lot of events at the same time. Oops, sorry, again, microphone. So what happened, of course, because of the pandemic, they couldn't host any more events. So imagine you already have the responsibility to pay a huge amount of money, like for this building, but you cannot use it anymore. So he decided to invest a lot of money, of course, into building this production studio, where he could see all his attendees via Zoom in these big screens that you see, the cameras, the lights, all this setup, just for all the students to have a close experience to being in the same building, which I think is also remarkable. You have to put in the work, right? So I think that was also very, very interesting to see. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, why should I care about improving my own virtual event production or my own virtual event setup? Why? So I just have here a very easy to understand pros and cons slide, where I will just explain you why should you care, or why should your business or the company that you work for care about producing virtual events in a high quality. So just as easy as this. If you put in the work, this means that people will show up to your event. You will have a certain amount of people showing up to your event, all right? However, if the event doesn't have like this great production, then you will start losing people showing up. People will start to leave the room because what they see is not something remarkable, as we were just saying. So people will lose interest in you and what you have to say, what you have to deliver. But again, people will not feel engaged, contrary to a great event where you are actually having this interaction with the audience. So you have engagement, you have good interaction, your event is getting traction, and of course, your brand or your company is gaining traction, is gaining reputation, right? Reputation for producing big events, for producing high quality events, no? This means that if people like what they see in a regular basis, of course, they will share it with their friends. They will share it with some contacts. And of course, it's gonna be spread across the audience. So that's gonna get you more viewers, but also it's gonna get you more fans. And I have this concept called brand affinity. And as I told you, in the very end of this space, I will give you what this concept means and why is it so important, at least for us at Showcaser Media. Okay, so now we also have a new surprise for you. If you thought surprises were gone, then you're wrong, because Remember that idea that we took from 23, the live shows, right? With this live DJ. Now, we don't have a live DJ right now because it's very early. It's 9 a.m. in Mexico. But we have a pre-recorded video that we produced here at the studio from the music duo Drumpet from Ukraine. Okay, so again, it's going to be a 3-minute rehearsal, a 3-minute video that we just want to show with you. But again, use this space as a music break. Just relax, stretch, dance if you want, get some water, get some snacks. But I really hope that you enjoy it. All right, so Jorge, let's roll it.
I'm a scat man. 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 I'm a scat man.
Wow, how was that? I saw Anna. I don't know if I saw you dancing or just like moving around. So thank you very much. Again, we we are getting some new ideas for people to enjoy our events. Thank you, Selina. I'll make sure to send a message to the music duo Trumpet. All right, so we are almost there because now we are moving to the, I believe, the most important part, the thing that you are here to learn, which is actually the hacks. The hacks to improve your virtual event setup. How can you actually do it yourself, the DIY? So there's two ways to see this. And the first way, I'm just gonna give you the basic hacks that will actually not gonna, it's not gonna hurt your wallet. You don't have to spend any money on that. So some simple hacks, but also in the advanced section, it's actually up to you if you decide to invest in these new like tools that will actually help you improve your virtual setup. All right. So I hope you're ready. Basic hacks to improve your virtual event setup, all right, without hurting your wallet. The first thing that you have to consider is the location. So try to find an authentic and adequate location that doesn't distract your audience. So as you can see right now, as an example, I am here. There is like nothing on my background except like a curtain. And this helps for you to like not lose attention into what I have to say, right? But again, we are in a studio, and of course we have access to this. But just want to give you some examples. The first thing that you can do is try, like I call it the lean-in approach, no? And just try to do some work into what you want to show to your audience while delivering a keynote or a Zoom call, for instance. Do some things in the background, put some plants, like something that makes your background look like, in a way, and even nowadays, like some that you are home, but also it's not going to distract your audience, right? I have here some examples. I'm pretty sure you know most of these people. But again, you would even believe that these famous people would actually invest a lot of money, but you can see that it's just something that looks that they are home. It's not something overproduced, just making sure that things look nice and tidy in the back. If you have an interesting background that you want to show to the audience, also do that. Try to play with the lights in the back, no? If you don't have the chance to do this, then, well, maybe just a wall in your home that is like a white wall that you can use, that also works, you know? Here we see an example of like a color background. But also if you have access to that, then that would be good, no? So try to do some work before going live on your event. Now let's talk about audio, no? The tip here is you have to find a dedicated and isolated space for your virtual event or webinar. Why is it so important? Well, the ideal scenario is that you need to pay attention to the place you are in doesn't have like a lot of echo. And that happens a lot in Zoom calls, for example, that you're in a very small room and there is a lot of echo. So the ideal scenario would be to have this around yourself, so that all these pillows, all these blankets, so that there is like no echo happening. But of course, if it's not possible, I mean, it's fine. But also things that you have to consider is that you are not placed in a space that has a lot of background noise, like things on the happening outside the room. Maybe there's a building that is making a lot of noise. I also heard, like, for example, a car honk. That's a word, yeah. Making some noises. I mean, try to reduce the amount of noise that could be coming into your audio. I know sometimes it's impossible, but just put in some time. Also try to consider extra elements that could potentially bring in some noise, no? So in this case, there's like fridges around you, next to you, that have a lot of noise. So again, try to avoid those. And try to avoid also potential distractions like this very popular one, no? You don't know this, but when we started this space, my dog just came in running in the studio, and fortunately my dog didn't bark and he just left. He saw that we were busy, but yeah, that's on us. Okay, that's when it comes to the background noise. But now let's talk about the quality of the audio that is coming from the speaker's mouth, right? What we definitely recommend is that if you want to have a Zoom call, try to have a dedicated microphone that I just want to show you an example like this one. It has a built-in microphone here, here, like this one. Oh, I love this. I love the focus in this camera. So it's recommended that you use a dedicated microphone, dedicated earphones, so that if you cannot control the audio around you, then at least this headphone with the built-in microphone is going to help you a lot into controlling the noise around you. Okay. What we have been seeing as well recently is, I mean, these earbuds have been very popular in the last 2 or 3 years, right? And yeah, you could say that people look nice. People just want to show off, no? That they have their cool earbuds. The problem with earbuds nowadays is that yes, they look good, but however, the quality of the voice of the microphone that is going wireless to the computer and then to Zoom, it's already compressed. We are already losing quality. You can already notice this when you're having calls, just like normal, like phone calls. No, you can notice when someone is talking through their wireless headphones. No, but if you're gonna do this on a virtual call, you are already losing quality. Okay, so again, it's very important with just minor changes that you do to your setup, you can have high quality production. So we recommend not to use earbuds at this point because still the quality is not as good as, for example, the wired ones. Now, something very important that I want to tell you today is about connectivity. So the tip here is establish a dedicated internet connection for your virtual event and webinar. This has saved us, at least here at the studio, so many times. What do we mean with connectivity? Well, just as easy as this. If you're able to plug in your computer straight to the internet router or the internet modem, I don't know how you call it, then you are at least going to guarantee a very stable connection throughout your virtual event. Very important. Try not to depend so much in the Wi-Fi connection because you know that sometimes we can lose connectivity right there. Okay. Now, Omar, I'm not very close to the internet modem or the internet router. What can I do if I'm just going to be using Wi-Fi? So the first big recommendation that we have for you is that if you're just going to be using Wi-Fi, then make sure that other apps that could be potentially consuming internet connection without you even knowing it, like maybe some updates or like something like that, try to keep those closed. Applications like WhatsApp, Messenger, Spotify, or Netflix, some of those are just open without you even knowing it. So close them all, like shut them off, and just have that Wi-Fi connectivity going straight to the Zoom call or the platform that you're going to be using for your virtual event. Just like that, okay? That's a tip for connectivity. Now let's talk about the webcam. So most of you are going to be using your computer's webcam, right? So the recommendation is try to adjust your webcam position. The first tip that we have for you is this. Once you found the space for your virtual event, now make sure that you have enough access of light that is in front of you, not behind you. Okay, so in this example, we are showing someone that has a good amount of natural light, as you can see, but also as you can see, there's a lamp next to this person. So maybe when it's very dark, this person just turns the light on, and then we actually get to see the person in good light. What happens when you don't have good access of light is that your computer is doing some internal work to make you look more visible, right? And because of that, you are having a lot of digital noise around you. Those like little dots around you, that's happening when you don't have good amount of light, okay? So put yourself in front of a window or put a lamp next to you, and that's gonna help you a lot. Now, something also very important is the position of your computer. Now, here's an example of this person who has some books, because what he's trying to do is have the camera at the eye level. So right now, I'm seeing you as if I'm talking to a person in real time, no? Like I would normally do, just face to face. No, that's the impression I want to give to my audience. No, because what usually happens is you have your computer a bit down below. So yeah, probably that people are seeing you in a bad view angle, like the one in the right. So what you want to achieve is that people see you at a nice angle, that people are actually talking to you as if if it was in real life, right? So what you can do is just add some books below your computer, under your computer, and then that's it. All right. So this is a basic things that you have to start doing from now on, right? It doesn't cost anything, and you can do it right away. Now, let's talk about a bit more. Let's rise the level up a little bit. So if you are thinking, okay, maybe I would like to invest a little bit of money into producing even better virtual events. So hacks to improve your virtual event in an advanced way. So first, let's talk about the camera. So transform your video quality, all right? So I don't know if you have access, or probably some of you have access to a camera like this one, a DSLR camera, professional camera, photo camera. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but right now this can be potentially cheap compared to professional cameras. But if you actually have one of these cameras, you'd be surprised, because what these brands have done in the last year, they have updated their firmware so that you can now use this camera as your webcam just by plugging in an HDMI cable to your computer. So if you have a camera, just try to find on Google, hey, how can I use this model as a webcam? No, and you'd be surprised. Now you have a professional camera with a professional view. Okay. What do you need to invest in is definitely a capture card, like the one you're seeing right now. This is like an USB, and I think I have one right here. So this is a capture card. Oh, right here, right here. Oh, no, not me. No. Okay, I don't know what's my camera doing. Okay, this thing. It's like an USB port, and it has an HDMI port. Okay, so what you do is you plug in your camera to this part, and now you can just plug it as an USB camera, and voila, now you have a professional camera as a webcam. When you plug this capture card to your computer, literally on Zoom, you can just choose which camera you want to use, whether your computer's camera or your camera. Okay, voila, you have a professional view now. And these ones, these capture cards are very cheap nowadays. It's around probably 20 or 30 euros. You'll be surprised how much the quality increases. All right, now let's talk about audio like a pro. So yeah, how can you enhance your audio quality? So you might as well invest. You might want to invest in a microphone. So as you can see right now, I am powered by this microphone right here, but it's like it's a microphone like this one that you can just plug in via USB. No, these are also very cheap nowadays, and you can just get it and plug it via USB to your computer, and now you have professional audio, right? So this that you see here, it definitely increases the quality of your audio. So in the end, you're gonna end up with something like this. No, you're gonna have your computer, you're gonna have your microphone on the side, you have a good amount of light, you have your camera at the back, and now you are ready to have a professional delivery of maybe a workshop or maybe a virtual event in your own house, right? And that's really great. No, your audience will be very, very happy to see quality like that. Now let's go for the last part of these hacks. Let's talk about the streaming design. So for example, how are we doing all these things that you see, right? So how can you deliver a visual experience to your audience? So what we do is, how are we moving from a normal Zoom call to something like this, right? So I'm pretty sure some of you want to know how are we powering all this setup. But yeah, we took some inspiration from these examples, and we did it for the first time in the events we produced last year, and it was pretty nice. Like, people were very excited. We were able to put the logo of the event, to put the logo of the partners that were sponsoring the event, and you can see on the right side there was a lot of interaction with the audience. People were very excited because we are breaking through what we conceived as normal. All right. So how are we doing this? As you might be wondering, we are using a free streaming software, which is called OBS. It's free. It's a bit tricky, but once you learn how to use it, it's really nice. We are designing all these layouts that you see on design software, in this case, Illustrator. And also, if you are interested in multi-streaming to different channels such as Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or many other social media channels, you might as well also invest in a license that allows you to do that. Last but not least, we are using a hardware, which is this thing. It's called the Atom Mini Switcher. So if you are wondering how are we actually doing this switching between cameras, I'm just going to show you one more time. So Jorge has been doing all this switching between camera A. Oh, he's going to do it right now. So it's camera A. So this is the switcher we have been using. So just show them how we are just switching between cameras. So we have here the desk view. We have this view, hello. And then we have, I'm guessing, the back, hello. Hello. As you can see, we have a lot of fun doing these events. So yeah, this Atom Mini, can you just show them, Jorge? It's also very cheap. It's like around $300, and you have four HDMI inputs. No, you can plug in. Now that you have your thingy, your capture card, you can just plug in everything you want, at least 4 different views in your streaming. All right. So that's how we are powering this event right now. Okay, so those are the hacks, the advanced hacks that you came here to learn, and I just want to leave you with this learning. Aiming for a high quality production of your virtual event will inevitably bring, as a result, a more engaged audience towards you and your brand. So this is kind of like my conclusion to all the things that we have been learning today, right? If you put in the work, the audience will appreciate it. They will stay in your event. They will come back for more. And that's what you want as a brand, as a company. You want people that know that you care about them, and in return, they will stick with you and your brand. This brings me to this bonus part that I want to give away to you today, which is called the brand affinity marketing concept or methodology. How are you actually converting your audience into loyal fans? No? And this is something that we learned last year. We've tested it ourselves. And I just want to give you a bit of what this concept means. So brand affinity is the most enduring and valuable level of a relationship between a business and the consumer based on the mutual belief that they share common values, okay? And I want to highlight the word relationship. I think it's very important for brands nowadays because of the fact that they have been losing this interaction, this live interaction with their audience, because of there's no more in-person events, there's no efficient ways to reach out to our customers in real life. This concept has become very, very important. And this approach has become very important for big brands around the world. They have been doing this marketing approach to this. How are they doing this in the last year? Well, they have been doing this through webinars. So that explains why there has been a lot of webinars in recent times. Podcasts, of course. Some of us have been listening to podcasts, and the number of podcasts being produced has been rising up in the last year. Live shows via live stream, of course. Virtual events like this one, for example. So this virtual event, Broaden Base, is a great attempt from AIESEC in Norway to reach out to their audience, the young leaders of AIESEC of Norway, and young students. It is an attempt for them to keep reaching out and keep saying, hey, we are here, and we are bringing you some value to you. Also, they come in the shape of video series, okay? And I want to make some examples about this last point, the video series, because you'd be surprised about how companies that we never believed would be creating video series. Well, an example is MailChimp. So MailChimp is a marketing tool that we believed it was just about newsletters and like sending emails to our clients, just reaching out. But they created this interesting video series called MailChimp Presents, where they're actually documenting the stories of some of their clients, some of their customers, and they are creating real life kind of documentaries. That's very, very, very interesting. And they keep just releasing week by week or month by month, very greatly produced video series. Companies like Wistia, again, they have been producing podcasts in one side. They have been producing live shows in the form of like, let's keep inviting people into our studio and just have great conversations about this. And even us in Showcase Media, as I told you, we are creating video series in an attempt to keep bringing in our audience, keep having them entertained, and keep connecting and keep building, most importantly, our relationship with our audience. So I just want to show you a 1 minute video of this series we produced two months ago called Hacks, right? Jorge?
We know it's hard to keep the audience entertained during virtual events. Reinvent the way you interact with your attendees by using these simple hacks. An engagement plan will help you deliver an enjoyable experience to your audience. What visual elements can you add to catch people's eye? How to choose the right host for your audience? How to boost conversations among your attendees? Be creative in the way you show your content to the world. Displaying animations, name tags, or introduction videos are things your audience will always appreciate. The right master of ceremonies will be responsible for keeping your audience entertained. Onboard the MC with the expectations of the event in advance. Have the MC maintain the best energy and encourage people's participation. The interaction between you and your audience is the final key point within the engagement plan. By showing comments in real time and sharing feedback forms, your audience will feel more connected to your virtual event. And that is our approach to increase engagement on virtual events. See you in the next one.
So that's just one example of how we have been producing things at the studio, again, in our attempt to keep our audience engaged, entertained, and keep building this relationship, again, using this brand affinity marketing approach. If you are curious to see more of the content we have been producing, and the series we have also been producing, so you can just reach out to our social media channel, Showcase Media, and we have been producing great content in the last month. We even created our own video series last year from September until November. We had 10 episodes where we were just bringing in some guests. As you can see on screen, we were bringing people to talk about virtual events, about podcasts. We have been, different topics about these things we are very passionate, which is photography, storytelling, and virtual events, right? So you might want to take this approach of brand affinity marketing for everything that you do. If you want to keep increasing your audience engagement, this is very useful. It takes some work, but again, going back to that graphic that I showed you like some slides ago, only the people that put in the work and that are creative into showing something nice to the audience are the ones that are going to get the attention from the audience. Okay, so yes, it might seem a bit complicating, overwhelming. How can I produce something like that? But I can tell you that it's worth the amount of work, the investment, and it's worth all the effort. It's going to pay back. So that's my last slide. Thank you very, very much for sticking in this virtual event. Thank you very much to the event organizers for inviting me. I really, really hope, and we really hope that you enjoyed this space. If you want to reach out, there's my contact there on social media, or just send me an email. Very happy to help you in anything you want. And wow, it's been 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I think it was a good time. If there is some questions that you want to ask, I was asked to display this slide, this QR code. So in case I'm guessing this is for feedback. So if you want to,
Yes.
Emina, yes?
Yes, yes,
No,
yes.
the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Omar. Thank you for joining us today, and it was a pleasure to have you host the space for us. As you mentioned before we all leave, I would just like you all to ask you to just fill out a short feedback form. It doesn't take longer than a minute or two. I will share the link here in the chat. If it hasn't been shared yet, here it goes. So yeah, just so we can kind of gather feedback, input, ways of improvement, anything that's on your mind. We really, really appreciate it. And if you have any questions for Amar, I think that this is like a right time to shoot.
Yes, if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them.
No, I just wanted to share that this has been actually quite helpful to me as a student that is a student in media, film production, marketing, stuff like that. Yeah. It has helped me a lot since at school they never taught us about how to do virtual events. We always focused on the physical events and stuff like that. So thank you so much for this.
You're so welcome, Anna. And again, just reach out if you need more help in the future. Wow, this was very exciting. Again, this was the first time we do something like this kind of production. We were just praying that we didn't lose anything, but that means we are up to something. Anyone else has a question? I guess not. Oh, we have some comments. Oh, Anna, yeah. Yeah, so you're very, very, very welcome to reach out, and thank you very much for sticking in. I mean, we kept our audience of 11 people, so I'm very happy about that. So that means we did a good work. Thank you very much, George. Let's say goodbye one more time. Can we say goodbye from the? No, we cannot do it anymore because we just switched cameras. So thank you very much. I guess I'll be seeing you very soon. It was very nice to be back home here at AIESEC in Norway. Very, very huge support. So anything you need, just reach out. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Omar. I would like you to introduce yourself and to just give your full name, your role, your company, or who are you representing in Broaden Base event.
Thank you. So my name is Omar Diaz Saldaña. I am the founder of Showcaser Media. We are an event video production company based in Mexico. And today my talk or my workshop was about the ultimate hacks for a successful virtual event for members of AIESEC in Norway.
Thank you. Can you tell me what? Sorry, I just read it wrong. Okay, what are the 3 main takeaways from your workshop that you would like to highlight?
Okay, the 3 main takeaways about my workshop. I would say, okay, okay, I will start with the first one and then I will jump into the next ones. Okay. So the world has been, no, wait. Yeah, there has been an exponential growth in virtual events around the world in the last year because of the pandemic. So one of the biggest mistakes that event organizers are doing in this transition from in-person to virtual events is copy pasting the formats from physical to virtual. So a big recommendation is that event organizers have to rethink the way they want to engage with people virtually, because it's not the same thing. The second point is thinking. Okay, the second point is, or the second takeaway is, what is the second takeaway? The thing is, I have the third one. I'm saving that for the last part. Okay, so the second takeaway is that it doesn't take too much effort into setting up a right experience for your virtual attendees of the virtual event. You might have to do some changes in your setup, but it's very easy and not complicated as it used to be back in the day. And the third point is actually one of my slides. I want to just read it here. Oh, it's right here. 1 second. Yeah, this one. All right. So the third takeaway is that aiming for a high quality production of your virtual event will inevitably bring as a result a more engaged audience towards you and your brand. So it's very important that businesses and organizations that are jumping into this transition understand that good work is going to be highly appreciated from the virtual audience.
Thank you. And as a final question for you, what would be the final message that you would like to give to members of AIESEC in Norway and in general Norwegian youth?
In general to AIESEC in Norway members, Norwegian youth. I'm wondering if it has to be around about the topic or if it's in general. You know what's the worst part? That I made these questions. So I'm trying to.
As you wish. It's absolutely not limiting in any way. Whatever you think and that it makes the most sense.
Okay. So we have been talking about virtual events and how to make it successful. We have been living very unprecedented times in which we have been jumping from in-person touch points to virtual touch points. So I think virtual events are going to help us. No, actually, that's not a good message for AIESEC in Norway. Okay, I'm just going to give you a message about to members of AIESEC in Norway. Okay, so hello, members of AIESEC in Norway and Norwegian youth. I really hope that no, I didn't prepare for this. What could be a good message? Okay, I think I know now. So hello, everyone, members of AIESEC in Norway and Norwegian youth. I really hope that you are all enjoying this virtual event called Broaden Base, where we are having a lot of good learnings, a lot of workshops about interesting topics for you. And I really hope that you get to join AIESEC, which is an amazing organization, and that you are able to develop all the leadership skills that this organization is promising to each one of you. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Omar. It was a pleasure really having you. I learned a lot, and
Awesome.
it's not even my domain or anything, but it was a really, really nice
Thank you very
webinar.
much. Thank you very much, everyone, to Ausema, to Pascal, to Svere. I don't know if he's still here, and to you. I think
Yes,
it's just 4 of you,
will
right?
do. Yes, it's only 4 of us in the MC. Yes, I will share what happened today and say hi to them. Also,
Alright.
hi back to your team, and thank you so much for joining so early in the morning. I know that it's a struggle. I couldn't do it. I'm not a morning person,
It's
so
fine.